moving on to AEW. AEW gave a celebration for Jericho 30 years. Um, Before I read the rundown or the recap of it, it really did not reach to my expectation
I agree.
because honestly, I thought there would be more footage of him in WCW and WWF at least being shown,
Mm-hmm.
or more of a tribute with matches that people would wear his gimmick or like do something that will, honor, Chris Jericho for his 30 years, besides the video package from many crazy superstars that love and known him. But it, to me, like it was not truly a celebration in my personal
I
opinion.
like that they had. I think I had a couple that I wrote down that caught my attention. I like that you had like Hiroshi Tanahashi from New Japan. You had Bully Ray. He didn't say anything,
Nope.
which is kind of funny. Shaq was funny. Gene Simmons, um, DDP. Then we have Ultimo Dragon. We also Paul Stanley. I feel like some of the people that they had. I feel like he's transcended throughout so many categories of different groups through music, sports, entertainment. So I feel like he's been able to cross brand through everything. It's been kind of part of pop culture throughout the
Mhm.
basic throughout the 30 years. But it's just it was I appreciate the cameos and people kind of like saying congratulations to the success he's been doing. But besides that, I feel like that and the ending, I feel like the matches in between was like not it didn't live up to live up to the day. The day was supposed to be a 30-year like anniversary or like kind of like wrestling something. It was just like okay, the match was okay for what it was, but I wanted to see the more Jericho or more something. You know what I'm saying? Like him being commentary or comedy or something, or him give us different. But I like the ending, which was great. The the rollout credits, which was that's the funniest thing. I feel like that was the most memorable part of for me for AEW, which was hilarious.
All right. I mean, fair enough. I mean, even the idea of just doing some recap of all the stuff he done within the year of AEW
Mm-hmm.
would have been also suffice too, because it ties together to what happened. It could build up for the upcoming week, which is the 1 year anniversary for AEW. So I'm not sure if it's just for numbers reason or they didn't have the clearance on certain imagery or clearance on copyrights, but this
Yeah.
is what occurred, right? It started off with the FTW Championship being defended, Hobb versus Cage. Cage is still your FTW champion. With that, we got some cameos for Chris Jericho, leading to a promo for Lance Archer, building up his side of what he's going to do to John Moxley. Was not his greatest work, but the videography of it was pretty good. I was pretty amazed with that aspect. Also, during the Cage in Hobb match, Taz sent out an invitation for Hobb to join the Taz stable. Darby jumped in, and from there, everybody went their own separate ways. One of my favorite match, which was the Hybrid 2 versus FTR for the Tag Team Championship. Uh, Evans was all over the place. He was kind of
Like
shaky.
always.
But other than that, FTR is still your tag team champion. Match definitely live up to its hype, and I really enjoyed every moment of it. Young Bucks was watching on the sideline. Once the match was over, they party kicked the cameraman, but forgot to pay the $10,000 fee. Uh, from there, we had the MJF promo where he stated his personal feelings and thoughts for Jericho. It was very moving, a lot of respect, really enjoyed it. And then from there, the majority of the show was the TNT Championship match, the dog chain
Yep,
match,
that column match. Yep, and I think
dog collar
Bobby
match.
Valentine was. I think he was the first person to be in a dark color match, so he was there kind of
with
as
with
representative.
Roddy Piper, which
Mm-hmm.
made his one of the biggest career move in their career. Actually, it was a
Yeah.
big deal. So having him there was definitely like a thumb of approval, which was pretty dope. but the match definitely took quite a while. I think this match was more than maybe 30, 35 minutes long. I think they use as much element as possible. Not much with the interruption of Dark Order or the Nightmare Stable, but it definitely allowed them to, do what they can. And like we mentioned earlier in the show, Cody Rhodes is once again your TNT champion. But the challenge for next week will be Orange Cassidy versus Cody Rhodes for the 1 year anniversary match, which I think maybe be a show stealer. Maybe. It all depends on Cody Rhodes. From there, we got more cameos for Chris Jericho. Congratulate him, giving him some love. We then got the Big Swole versus Sheen.
Serena Deeb.
Serena Deeb, Big Swole coming out with a big W, and we're two arm brands of the Black Lives Matters, because people on Twitter and on social media was giving her a big issue about it, but she said, haha, I'm going to double it and I'm going to rep it even stronger. So that to me was a beautiful thing. And lastly was 30 years of a match building up where the Team Chaotix, Project Chaos versus the Inner Circle of the Demo God, the El Champion, Chris Jericho, baby, versus in Jack Hager, where again Chris Jericho won, which was no surprise whatsoever. Like, again, this could have been so epic, so fun to enjoy, and I just feel like it's the resource. If this was like in a live crowd, I think big thing could have happened. You know what I'm saying?
There was you mean like a full stadium, like a regular
full stadium? Yeah. Like, I know there was crowds, but I'm talking about like full stadium, a lot of noise. Fireworks, helicopters, maybe some jet plane flyers over the stadium. Something big could have happened for this, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at them because we're still in a pandemic. But again, it's just like some great thing could have been done. Great thing. I would love to watch the whole Mimosa Madness, the Stampede match recap.
Even the first winning the AW, or like just not even the match was great. The introduction when he had the choir singing, amazing. Like, it just, you're not missing opportunities, but I feel like I don't know. I could have been a lot better, especially especially that momentous day of him, the 30 years.
They could have done the same intro he used back in 2 years. Was it 2 years ago? No, last year of May, where they show like the different phrases of Jericho. They could have done that once again. You could like recycle it, and we would still be like, "Oh my god, that's so freaking amazing!"
Either that, or I don't know, basically copyright, and because it's a different company, he could have used the moves of the 30 years that he's learned, like the Lion Soul. He did the Lion Soul, but the Lion Soul, the Code Breaker was a Jericho, and then the Judas, like, incorporate all 30 years of experience and moves into the match. So, like, at least it gives you, like, a taste of what he has accomplished through his gathering of Arsenal, which would have been even better. I know he did a couple of moves and stuff, but, like, I just wanted to see either more wrestling or more, like, marketing or more. I just wanted to see more. I was expecting more, especially for that day.
And you could call it selfish for all you want, but it's just like AEW has done a great job when it comes to like celebration events, and this one, I feel like it was just a little bit of a softball. And like, yeah, we did got about 1, 2, 3 type of championship match being defended last night, which was a really big reason why I think it was winning over NXT and all, but it could have, would have, should have, but it didn't. You know what I'm saying? We can't change the past. We just got to report it and just move on with it. Most thing, again, Best Friend, also Keen at the end of the Hybrid 2 match,
Yeah.
letting them know that next week, Best Friends, the number one contenders for the tag team champions, will be facing FTR, and it would not be under the 20 minutes rule. No, 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 no. This will be the full 60. So that means within 60 minutes, Best Friend could try to do their best to win the championship, which honestly, I don't think it's going to happen. I would love to happen.
60 minutes?
But
No. I think it might be a little bit over the 20. Well, I don't think. Yeah, that's half your show. You're not going to do an hour.
no, but
No,
what
no.
I'm saying is, it's like FTR had established a rule that once they pass the 20 minute, they automatically win. In this scenario for next week, if they go past the 20 minutes or to the 60 mark,
Yeah.
you know, it's not going to be like they're the automatic winner. It could be just like, you know, some times outs to win. You know, it could be all different type of reasons, but, you know, not like 20 minutes is up, we're still champ. You know, it's not going to be that limited as they want, like the golden brush as they called it. It's not going to be that type of ruling, which is really fair for Best Friend because Best Friend has been hot. Orange Cassidy has also been hot. And again, I would love for him to win the title away from Cody Rhodes, but I'm not sure if it's too soon because Cody Rhodes just won the belt.
I'm not saying it's too soon, but I feel like Orange Cassidy, because we knew eventually Orange Cassidy was going for a title. Either TNT or AW, he was going to go for one of them. I feel like this, story-wise, I'm glad they did it this way. I didn't like the match between the Dark Color match and him against Cody. I didn't like it. But for Orange Cassidy's place in the story, I like that's Cody against him rather than Brody Lee against Orange Cassidy. Because he took down one of like the Le Champion a couple of weeks ago, like on the last pay-per-view, and he beat him. He beat him two against one. I think it was their record 2-1. So now him going against Cody, it's basically knocking down the head of each like level basically. So I feel like the next one will be great against Cody. I don't know if he's gonna win or not because I feel like now Cody's sort of back to full time. I wish he would give other people opportunities. I'm glad that he gave it to Brody Lee, which wasn't that great, but it was a good run. I wouldn't mind seeing Orange Cassidy as TNT, especially for TNT as a company and AEW as a brand. I feel like having Orange Cassidy being built up the way that he was with Jericho, I would like to see him with gold. It would be interesting.
It'll be great for him. And Brody Lee was champion for or defended the belt 5 times. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So for nearly a month and close to half, because let's estimate a month and a half, he had been defending the belt. Only to hold it while Cody was doing, you know, a sideshow. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I would like for Brody to be champion for at least 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Than just that amount of time. But again, seeing Orange Cassidy being the next opponent next week, Best Friend going for the title next week, this group are not going to be covering gold at all.
You don't think the Best Friends, basically the Best Friends group, you don't think they're going to be drenched in gold?
Not next week. Maybe in the near future, but not. It's like so soon.
Yeah, because I feel like the Orange Cassidy, I could say there is a possibility that he could be champion by the end of the show next week. Best Friends, the only thing that's hindering them, it's the Young Bucks. Because I feel like you brought the FTR for a reason, and it was to go against FTR. To go against Young Bucks. Best Friends winning the title off them, and there's no payout at the end. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like a waste of time for FTR. So I feel like if this story was told at a different time in the company or the story, I would have liked to see all 3 of them to have gold. But I feel like we might see Orange Cassidy come out victorious. And I think Best Friends, they're going to be close, but I don't think they're either going to be interference by Young Bucks or something's going to happen that they're not going to be able to fulfill their dream to have goals amongst the 3.
And I agree with what you say, and it's is like best friend right now is so hot,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the weenie
Yeah, that's
stunt.
hilarious.
It's like if we don't do something or give them another chance to go for the belt, let's say for like the November pay-per-view,
Yeah,
I don't know what could happen. You know what I'm saying? Let's say like they get, interrupted by the Young Bucks and then they have to go through a triple threat match or something.
yeah.
Something that keep the story going, because that's all I want. Or a ladder match. Oh my God, seeing a ladder match between Young Bucks, the best friend, and FTR going at it, I would definitely pay good money just to watch it or watch the recap, because it's like me not watching on Wednesday have been helping the brands do pretty
Yeah.
good so far for the past few weeks. Another match that we got to talk about too is like the opener. I think the formula that AEW used versus NXT was champion, filler, champion, filler, and then Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
And Jericho is his status is high enough for you to put him in the last spot because it's his celebration. But with the opener that they gave us, you know what I'm saying? I thought it was really upbeat. It was not something that you could, you change a different channel. You could
Yeah.
definitely enjoy each moment of the match because these guys were definitely going at it. I felt like it could have just gave more, uh, more of a build-up. Like Hobbs being close, pin after pin, trying to get the 3 count, but couldn't.
Yeah.
And then Cage does his finisher, and boom, he gets it. So, other than that, it was solid.
It was.
But the high,
I feel like it was a good opener. Especially, I'm glad that they utilizing the FTW with the right people. I feel like that's not given it willingly to anybody. I feel like people that he has faced or kind of like been having beef with, I feel like they've been good people. I feel eventually he's gonna drop it to somebody, probably Darby, but that's later on in the road. But I think between them, Will Hobbs and Brian Cage, they had a good match. I like that Brian Cage could morph his he's capable to give you different styles. He could go from like being a monster heavyweight, or he's flexible and agile enough to be a cruiserweight style moves and stuff. So I like that he was able to like turn it on and off from different styles. But I honestly at a couple of points I thought Will Hobbs was about to get it, and he got close a couple of times. But I like that the story continues, even though I think because 2 weeks ago we had a COVID situation with Lance, so they had to like redo everything. I'm glad that storyline's still being told, but in a different way. Because at first it was supposed to be a tag team with 3-on-3. So now they took that and kind of split it, and now which they should have been doing, which I'm glad they didn't do it going this route. But I like that Taz kind of is seeing potential. Moxley saw potential on Will Hobbs and basically add him to his team. He's basically cool with Darby, and now Taz kind of giving him not a stamp of approval, but he's like, I could see a bright future for you. Trying to ask him. I really thought he was gonna answer. I was waiting for him to answer. Darby unfortunately stopped it, but I wouldn't mind seeing him.
It was a shaky. You know what I'm saying? Because I wish Hobb would been. Gave more time to answer the question than like Darby just jumping out of nowhere, because I'm like, you guys had time. You know what I'm saying? Like the Brody Lee and Cody Rhodes match could definitely been,
at least 5 minutes shorter.
Oh, and Big Swole versus Shane, that could have been shortened too.
And
you know what I'm saying?
It's tough because like Serena Deeb, she's a veteran. She's been wrestling. She's not an expert, but she's been doing it for years. So I feel like she has to give in a little too much in that match to kind of like even out Big Swole and stuff. But I would have preferred a different match or different, because I know either last week or 2 weeks ago, we had Britt Baker, kind of her return match winning, and now Big Swole kind of starting to pick up wins. So let's see how the women's division's building up, which they doing a little, but it's just they have to be more selective with the pairing, because some of the story might diminish another talent, So it's just like it's really tough, but. It was just, I feel like you needed to throw a filler there, so I feel like I'm glad that they gave an opportunity for the women's division to have a match on TV, because some most of the time they have them in AW Dark. So at least I'm glad that they're continuing to progressively continue the stories with other people in the division.
And again, I said it before. I'm going to say 1,000 times until it does improve. The women division is not the strongest division for AEW. Okay, it's the tag team. The tag team and some of the single division championship. Those are the strong ones for AEW for us to like more to enjoy. But the women, I mean, once they put the dot the I's, cross the T, you know what I'm saying, and be able to import the right people, then we could really put them up there with NXT, because right now NXT is definitely the standard. You know what I'm saying?
The division.
Yeah, the pedestal for women division is NXT, because I think they're doing it right. Impact is doing it right as well. They're like right reach into it. But AEW is definitely dead last place in my personal opinion. Even if NWA have only like 8 people in their roster,
but they know how to use them.
Exactly.
There's story being told. There's like programs, and there's at least, and you see them more often on TV, so you're aware of who they are as a personality, and also their moveset and everything. So there's more continuity with the least amount of people. But I like that AW gave us the promo for Max's new movie coming out. I think Bloodsport 3. He's like an MMA fighter, and I've noticed some of his, I guess, skill that he's learned, I'm guessing, practicing and kind of doing some of the stunts in the movie, that he's transitioning some of the stuff. I don't know if you noticed, for the ground game that he's been using in his matches, which is kind of cool that you're able to adapt and use new things into your arsenal. And also, I like that, I think the tournament starts next week for the number 1 contender for the AEW Championship. And they already named 4. They name
There's 6. There's 6 people in total.
Yeah, so they name Omega, which Omega was like dissing Hangman all day long. So you have Omega, Hangman, you have let me just make sure, Warlow, you have Colt Cabana, Ray Phoenix, and I don't know who's the 6th person, if I'm missing somebody else.
We talked about this last week. I'm pulling up.
But yeah, so
it's in my notes.
I like the tournament that they're doing, and I feel like that's the correct way to go about it for that championship, because everybody's calling their shots, but there's no story being built. And I feel like you want to showcase your talent in a way that, like, I liked how AEW gives you tournaments because it's a good story, and also how they put people together. It's like somebody could come out of nowhere, especially how they did for the tag team division for the women's. I think for the Casino Royale for the women's division. So I feel this tournament's gonna be good. There's a lot of good people. I feel like Warlow, it's a dark horse in that tournament. And also Omega and Hangman should be good. So I feel like you have 3 out of the 6 that, that could potentially win it.
No, the 6th person, he's in the tag team, and I see his face. I don't think he's from
Butcher. It's not Blade.
No, because from that stable it's Ray Phoenix.
Yeah.
And then
it's not Sean
Colt Cabana is doing for Dark Order.
Warlow for JF.
JF, then I guess you could say Kenny Omega is doing it for the Elite, and then Heyman is by himself. It's not from SCU. Okay, I'm gonna look it up while you keep sharing more information with the people.
Yeah, so
it's bugging me right now.
Yeah, that tournament's gonna be crazy. I think it's gonna start next week for the 1-year anniversary for AEW. But I think overall they're pretty cool. We talked about the people that did the promos. I feel like the one that caught my attention was Shaq, kind of like making fun of Chris Jericho, which was hilarious. And I like that they I don't know if it was most of them were a cameo, but Hiroshi Tanahashi is giving you a glimpse of New Japan. I don't know. I'm not saying that New Japan might work with AEW and stuff, but they have a connection, and they're starting, giving you highlights of people. I wouldn't mind seeing a New Japan AEW work with something, because we've seen them work with NWA for the women's division. So I don't know if with New Japan they could do something, especially like Wrestle Kingdom or something like a big pay-per-view. I know travel stuff situation, but if after everything cools down, I feel like that'd be a good opportunity for them to get new talent or add people from the women's division, because we haven't seen Riho in a while. Is she still even in there? It's just like,
I wouldn't really count her that much. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that much high expectation when it comes to Riho, because she did what she was supposed to do, and it got some Eastern fans to embrace us. You know what I'm saying? The Western culture.
Sorry. So you found it?
Not really.
So the 6 are Warlow, Colt Cabana, Hangman Page. We have Kenny Omega, Rey Fenix, and Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
I knew it was a tag team. I just knew it was not SCU, because if it was Scorpio Sky, I would have said his name in a heartbeat. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's Jungle Boy. So
I feel like I think they picked not the right people, but I feel they picked the right people that either challenge or have been associated with the AEW Championship at some point, because there's a connection to that title. Because Hangman lost the first one against Jericho. Omega and Moxley have feud beef forever. Rey Fenix, he's a X factor in any tournament that he's in. Jungle Boy faced Jericho and lost. I think they gave him the 10 minutes. He lasted the 10 minutes, but he lost. Warlow, I feel like they trying to make a monster or a big guy, strong guy for that division. And Colt Cabana, you needed somebody to throw in there. And I feel like that's the only person that will make sense, because Brody Lee, when they mentioned this, he was already the TNT champion. So currently, I wouldn't want a double champion for AEW yet. And that'll be too messy, because it's just like, it wouldn't make sense. So Colt Cabana, I feel it was a good choice. Or maybe 10, but he's been losing. So I feel Colt Cabana was a good choice. Because I didn't think any other group, I don't think that nobody else could fit in. It's Scorpio Sky, yeah. But I feel like if you're not successful and for the TNT Championship, I don't think you could. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, even though that theory doesn't work for Lance Archer, because he lost against Cody, but I feel like, especially
Scorpio Sky already had both title chance in his career. Unfortunately, it didn't go to his favor. And seeing him in the tournament wouldn't hurt. But I think they might bring in 2 new mystery wrestlers for this tournament to spice it up, because again, they only need 6, 3 in respective weeks. So maybe they might bring 2 special guys or 2 new. I'm not going to do that.
I would have said Matt Cardona, but he's not there full time anymore. It's kind of like a contract, like pay to show up sort of. So his contract is not like finalized. So if he was in better standing, like contract wise with the company, I feel like he could have been another piece you could throw in there. The chairman again, Sean Spears, you could have thrown in there. Yeah, I feel like not too many people, like the Inner Circle. I wouldn't put nobody yet. But I wouldn't even mind if Jericho was like, I put myself in the tournament or something, like, just because, it's like as his anniversary thing. I just that'll be his one wish. But I feel like the Jericho and MJF, the final kind of skit or moment that they had together was hilarious. I feel there's some tension between the two, which is they know how to work with each other. But this reminds me of on the last episode we posted and we talked about we gave you a little like top 10 moments of Jericho. One of the moments that you mentioned was the Festival of Friendship. I feel like this reminds me of what Kevin Owens Y2J is MJF, and it just reminds me of that kind of like love-hate relationship, but they're like cool.
Agreed.
They like not mean girls, but like mean girls with each other, and they like, it's kind of funny, but it's just like eventually that's gonna erupt, and that's gonna be a good feud, especially for MJF, because I think one of the comments or advice that Jericho said is like, if you want to stay relevant in the business, you have to like take pieces of people that you admire or follow, and he pointed at him. So I feel like he's trying to not be like Jericho, but take the best pieces and longevity of Jericho and add it to his arsenal, which is doing a great thing, especially for MJF.
I think next week MJF said he's going to make a special announcement. He wants Jericho next to him. Maybe this could be the startup of the matchup of them for the November pay-per-view match. What's it called again?
It's not full gear. It's a full year.
Full gear. Okay, because I'm bad with
Yeah.
anything. So with name and stuff. So yeah, full gear. I think that's going to be a great match to end the year in the pay-per-view match. I'm just hoping that the announcement is really good and it really stirred the pot, because then you got Wardlow going against Jack Hager, and then MGF going at Jericho, and we're gonna get like crazy promo from both sides until full gear, where they actually do like, hey, now you're mine. I'm gonna like kick your ass, and then maybe MJF gets over, because honestly, that's what Jericho does. He over people. Even though his goal is to win the tag team champion with Jake Hager, I mean, the only group that I believe he could take the belt from is from Best Friend. But again, I don't think Best Friend is going to beat FTR next week unless, a miracle happen, which is Young Bucks going.
Yeah, Young Bucks I feel like, I'm not saying, because we talked about this like even in the beginning when we started, and even when AEW started. I'm glad that the industry became a show. Basically, the indies became AEW, but now they're in a position of power. Now we're seeing full circle, because last year it was a lot of build up for other superstars and people that brought over. I'm not against like all elite taking over and being champions for everything, but you want to build your roster, build new stars and stuff. You're already established. Like they all could survive without titles. But I feel like eventually all the elite is going to hold titles. Then it's going to turn into what the OCW was. And even when Impact had basically the old school mafia type, when you had Booker T and Kurt Angle and stuff. And it's just like, which is good, but it's just like it made the whole program stale. Especially you competing with WWE, that they have 3 shows and they have diversity in their content. I feel like if you keep just giving yourself the title, it's gonna be stale. Especially for 1 year, like you need to rotate titles or create new stars or something. I feel like story wise, I feel they should do a better job than they're doing right now.
With that being said, guys, this is the Providence Lucha Talk. If you like what you heard and you like how we do things, please make sure you follow us. You know what I'm saying? You found us by mistake, we say thank you. And also, please hit the like button. Please follow us on the social media. We're on the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as the YouTube. Give us the 5-star on the Apple Podcast and Spotify. And, just rock with your boys, because we're going to continue doing this until we decide to take a break. And guess what? Wrestling don't really take breaks. So, anywho, this is your boy, Jay Aguila.
This is Luisito.
And we said buenas noches.
See ya.